St. Thomas University Journalism and the New Brunswick Beacon present the Basement Files.
Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of the Basement Files. I'm Connor J.
I'm Brittany Lively.
And I'm Patrick Lowe.
And I'm Katrina Wren.
And I'm Taylor Hoyt. Here are today's top stories.
A recent hacking has left a local university looking to change their online security.
The annual Run for the Cure brought in more runners and more money this year.
And a Fredericton business is selling electronic cigarettes. But are e-cigarettes better for you than regular cigarettes?
The University of New Brunswick Student Union is changing servers after a recent hack by an apparent ISIS supporter. The UNBSU's webpage was hacked on Thanksgiving weekend. Oscar Baker III has the story.
The ISIS-inspired group Team System DZ has claimed responsibility for hacking over 200 websites over Thanksgiving weekend. Their Facebook page was recently shut down after they posted a list bragging about their many hackings. Team System DZ is now resorting to Twitter to spread their accomplishments. UNB Student Union President Greg Bailey said that the student union was using the St. John-based server ICS, which had 10 of its customers hacked by the same group.
We weren't specifically targeted. The hack that was done to our website was done to dozens of other websites at the same time. So it was just somebody taking advantage of a vulnerability. It wasn't a specific thing, so there's really no cause to be alarmed.
Despite Bailey's reassurance, some students had some concerns.
Surprising, I never thought anyone would really hack the UNB page, especially putting ISIS on it. Hopefully it's not actually them. I don't think it really is, but who knows.
You hear a lot about it on the news and whatnot, and hear about it so close to here is just kind of freaky.
I was rushing for a test, and I couldn't access some of my materials, so that was scary.
He said that students' personal information wasn't in any danger because the page didn't contain any vital information. The student union's webpage was separate from the university's main server, and that server was more secure.
Well, we've switched over the servers that we were located on. Our website provider was in the process of upgrading their security, and this, they told us, was just kind of a signal as to why they had to do it. So we've been moved over to a more secure server. We're going to be working on more secure ways to get into the website. But this was really the equivalent of digital graffiti.
UNB Student Union President Greg Bailey said that they weren't targeted specifically by the hackers, but some students are concerned that they were. Bailey said that they're taking this situation seriously and are changing service to better the security. For Stu Journalism, I'm Oscar Baker III.
The Liberal government has invested $90,000 into a Fredericton-based software company. The company, Hotspot Parking, has developed an app that's looking to make parking meters a thing of the past. Chris Brooks has that story.
Hotspot is a smartphone app designed to create a shopping experience free from parking tickets. Users can manage and monitor the amount of time they have left in their parking session right from their phones, so more time can be spent browsing store shelves. Businesses can also receive information regarding customers with the app who enter their stores. Peter Takis works for Robert Simmons, a clothing boutique downtown, which uses Hotspot's iBeacon technology in order to pay for their customers' parking.
I do everything from my iPad. They come in, they say, I just parked downtown. And most of the time they're already uploaded in the system. I just say how many hours they're going to be downtown, and that's it.
The app makes money not through charging to pay your parking, but from ad sales from local businesses. This is another way of promoting commerce here in Fredericton. Philip Curley is the CEO of Hotspot and thinks the focus on consumers and shops is what sets it apart from similar apps in other cities.
So what we did is we created a pay-by-phone system that was really built all around consumer experience and how you enjoy the downtown whenever you come down and park, and trying to basically rid all parking issues that people have by partnering with local businesses. And that was actually the secret, that businesses have a lot more parking problems than people because they totally depend on it, right? Like if there's no parking, there's no customers.
Hotspot isn't all about bolstering local business. Curley and his team are working with Mothers Against Drunk Driving to provide a service where people could leave their car at the pub if they've had a few too many brews.
Hotspot is currently functioning in Fredericton and St. John, but the company has plans to move to other cities in the Maritimes in the near future. For Stu Journalism, I'm Chris Brooks.
It's been just over a year since a New Brunswick basketball player's career came to a screeching halt. Tori McCarthy spent several minutes in a burning house before firefighters could get her out. It seemed at the time that her career might have been over, but she's back and brings a lot to offer. Brandon Ramey brings us court level with her story.
And then these places right here and there and all right there, basically the skin just rejected.
Tori McCarty's lifeless body was pulled out of this downtown Fredericton house in late August of last year. McCarty suffered severe smoke inhalation and burns covering 25% of her body. But after a year of recovery, she finds herself back on the basketball court with the St. Thomas University women's team. It has not been an easy road for McCarty as she's battled through many months of intense physiotherapy.
So basically, they took skin from my thigh and they stapled all around the edges, around here, so you can kind of see right there. I don't know if you can see that, all around there. And the places that took the skin graft have a little chain link fence, so all through there and then there.
She has since regained full movement in her arms and is making big strides in relearning all of her previous basketball skills. McCarty's hard work and determination has also made an impact on the Tommies' head coach, Fred Connors. Connors is now entering his 12th season as the coach of the women's basketball team. He is excited about McCarty's commitment to the game and the progress she has made in such a short period of time.
It's starting fresh for her. She's obviously has a passion for basketball. I mean, what her body's already gone through, and now she's trying to push it through more to get to a level where it can sustain the amount of pressure that is felt by a body trying to play at an elite level. You have to have a passion for the game to do that. And she comes here every night, she works hard every night, and it's starting to come.
The team's support has not gone unnoticed by McCarty either, as she credits her team with helping her in a speedy recovery.
The whole time they've been really understanding and really positive, and they've kind of helped me out, you know. I mean, not only have I not played basketball, I haven't had to learn plays, I haven't had to, you know, retain that kind of information in a long time, and so when I mess up, they're pretty understanding, and they just kind of help you through it, and, you know, everything's high fives afterwards.
Kristen Smith, McCarty's teammate, has been a fan of McCarty's determination from the start, and although the season is early, she can see successes already.
Tori's a strong girl, and I think that she demonstrates to us how much we have to persevere through difficult times in life. It's things you never know what's going to happen every day, but she can show us that we may have a bad test or a bad game, but there's worse things that can happen to you, and that we just need to know how to go through those, and we can go to Tori when we're feeling a little.
The past year has been a very long process for McCarty, with unique struggles. But now, it's nothing but net. For Stu Journalism, I'm Brandon Ramey.
Still putting your recyclable bottles with no more garbage, bottles can mean more than that. Instead of recycling bottles for small amount of money, some people prefer taking meaningful actions. Ethan has the story on how Air Cadets are doing that.
Thank you very much.
Bottle deposit is showing an invisible value. Not anymore. 333 Lord Beaverbrook Squadron Royal Canadian Air Cadets has a fundraising bottle drive this Saturday for Fredericton Youth Cadets. Jacob Wilkins is a high school student from Fredericton who has been a member of Air Cadets for 3 years.
Well, at the squadron we like to do a lot of trips and gas, food, stuff like that.
Bottle drive fundraising lasts from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. 2 contemporary recycling stations are located at both north and south sides. People all drive to the locations to support those cadets. Michelle Armstrong is the staff taking charge of this event.
We went beyond our expectation. We really didn't think we were going to get this much. This is great. And the kids work really hard all year, and we're hoping to be able to send them on a citizen trip.
There are 67 members in the Royal Canadian Air Cadets program in Fredericton. The program is supporting some trainings for students from local grid schools.
Staffs are going to bottle deposit on next Monday to get the fund. Air Cadets are enjoying and looking forward to next on January 2nd. For Still Journalism, I'm Ethan.
The Capitol Exhibition Center is hosting a Safe Haunted House from October 27th to the 31st. NBX, the City of Fredericton, and Ambulance NB will be presenting the largest haunted house in New Brunswick. All proceeds will be going to charity.
The PEI Marathon had its biggest showing ever this weekend. More than 3,000 runners lined up for the race. Prince Edward Island native Chris Taylor finished first in the men's category with a time of 2 hours and 43 minutes. Erin McNeil of Dartmouth was the first woman to finish the race. Her finishing time was 3 hours and 20 minutes. The race is an important one as it's a qualifier for the Boston Marathon.
Rainy weather couldn't put a damper on the start of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The 16th Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation CIBC Run for the Cure happened on October 5th. Survivors, runners, and volunteers came out to support the cause. Elizabeth MacArthur has the details.
I'd like to welcome Janet DeMello.
Janet DeMello is a cancer survivor and has been in remission for 6 years. This is her 7th year involved in the run and 4th year on the committee.
Because I'm a survivor, I want to do my part to help get a cure. The foundation's goal is a future without breast cancer, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Breast cancer survivors were piped in at Government House during the opening ceremonies. Afterwards, the crowd gathered to form the breast cancer symbol before moving on to the start line for the 1 kilometer walk and the 5 kilometer run.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
Supporters took time to sign the Wall of Hope when they returned. Carter Wood ran in his first run for the cure today.
I was running from my mom's, my aunt, my mother's sister. She got diagnosed with cancer.
Kiri O'Leary, co-run director, has been involved with the run as a volunteer for almost 20 years.
The largest volunteer-led event like this. So everything that you see here today and everything that's been done, it's completely volunteer-led.
Live music played as everyone returned from the run before the final totals were announced. Run directors Kiri O'Leary and Janelle Sobey, along with Paula Brecken, joined together on stage to announce the final amount that was raised this year.
Can we just say the number? Okay, say the number. Okay, $165,386.27.
The number of participants and the total raised were both up this year. The directors are already looking forward to next year's Run for the Cure. For Stu Journalism, I'm Elizabeth MacArthur.
From Mukto to Halifax and back again, our next story shares the tough journey of a family who haven't been together in almost 6 months. Just days before her first birthday, parents of Gracie Bell were told something no parent wants to hear. Tyson Hovey shares their story.
This is Gracie Bell, and she's finally enjoying her time at home after a long 7 months at the IWK in Halifax. She was diagnosed with AML, a form of leukemia, just days before she turned 1. She received her first treatment of chemotherapy on her first birthday. Her mother, Tammy, is adjusting to life at home all over again.
But yeah, home feels good. Home feels scary. Life feels scary on this other end. It's like our family's been through a huge life change. I don't think we'll ever go back to what life was like before our daughter was diagnosed with cancer, but we also have a different perspective and a different appreciation.
After all that has happened, Tammy got this in honor of Gracie's fight. A reminder that things are never as bad as they seem, and there's always hope.
How can you tell if it's not good enough?
Although things are different in their lives now, the family is ready to start a new chapter. Tammy looks forward to the simple thing.
Just to kind of be able to put that behind and be able to continue with just the normalities of life, the simple things. I often say that, I missed all the little things.
It's been a long journey for Gracie and the family, but her strength and warm smile have brought this happy bunch closer together.
They're happy to be home, but Darren and Tammy say it'll be a challenge readjusting to life as it was. Though it may never be the same, they now have a different outlook on life and say they've learned to appreciate the small things. For Stu Journalism, I'm Tyson Hovey.
What happens when you put Mentos in Diet Coke? Children attended a science fair to find out for themselves. Stephanie Sirwa has the rest.
Science and magic don't normally go hand in hand, but today they do. These presenters showed the magic of science to a captivated audience on Saturday. Local students demonstrated chemistry experiments for children to enjoy. Some of the experiments the children even did themselves. Julian McNally is a co-chair in the fundraising committee.
A bunch of chemistry experiments, little things. We had foaming elephant's toothpaste and things that change color, acids and bases. And it's to raise money for a chemistry conference that's being held here in May at UNB. It's an undergrad conference.
Students competed and won in a bid to host the conference at UNB. Now they just have to raise the money. Nick Richard is another co-chair on the fundraising committee that planned the event.
We're interested in getting the conference to come back to UNB because UNB hasn't hosted this undergraduate chemistry conference since 1999, so it's been quite a while.
Some of the experiments shown to the children included a chemical reaction called elephant's toothpaste, liquid nitrogen, a photo booth, and making polymer goo. The events lasted an hour, but cleanup was quick. This was the first of many events for the fundraising committee of ChemCon 2015. It was a success, raising over $200 in donations. If you missed this event, there will be a second live one, indoors, held at a later date. For Stu Journalism, I'm Stephanie Sirwa.
The Music New Brunswick Festival brought its sounds to Fredericton this past weekend. Wrapping up with an awards ceremony, the festival honored its nominees and the Foundation of Music in New Brunswick. Jordan Gill has the story.
When most people think of music, they think of this. But there are many people behind the scenes. Without them, the music would quickly stop. Jean Surette is the Executive Director of Music New Brunswick, the group holding the MNB Awards, which have an industry component. Surette says that the behind-the-scenes nature of the industry leads to many not being recognized.
Those are folks that work behind the scenes, right? They're the managers, the folks that book concerts or book artists and venues and such. So it's not as glamorous as, let's say, an artist award like Album of the Year.
Brendan McGee is a co-organizer for Shivering Songs, a winter music festival held in Fredericton. The festival has been nominated for Event of the Year. He hopes the nomination will expose people to the festival.
But it's awesome exposure to people that might not already be familiar with what we do. Of course, we do a festival in January and we do a couple other events throughout the year, but we're not able to get to every part of New Brunswick as much as we might like to. So it's really awesome in that way that, like I said, people maybe haven't heard of us or haven't really checked us out might get that urge to do so now, which is fantastic.
Local businesses are also getting recognized. The Capitol Complex has been nominated for Best Venue. Owner Wes Ward hopes this will bring more people through the doors.
You always think that everyone knows what you're doing, but there's always a group of people that, maybe never heard of the Capitol Bar, and maybe they don't know that we do live music, it's 3 to 5 days a week, all year round. So it definitely will bring some awareness to what we do.
Surette thinks the New Brunswick music industry is strong and is optimistic about the future.
A lot more artists are starting to export into other markets outside of the region, outside of the country. And when you see artists exporting and playing, touring in other markets like that, that's a sign that there's more support.
Although neither the Capitol nor Shivering Songs won their awards, the fact that they were nominated means that there is more appreciation for the people behind the scenes. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Jordan Gill.
On this past Saturday evening, a young woman called Ariel Metallic was shot by a pellet gun in Fredericton. She was walking in the street when someone shot her from the apartment window. When police shone the light on the window, the shooter turned off the lights and closed the windows to hide. The online community is going to have a fundraising event for the injured lady on Wednesdays.
Back again for another year, the Fredericton Playhouse presents Rocky Horror Picture Show premiering October 31st. Accommodate with drinks, trivia questions, and time warp lessons, all leading to the midnight premiere.
E-cigarettes are the newest quitting smoking tools, but are they good or bad for you? Emily McPhee went to find out the verdict.
3 to Harrington Hall.
Mark Cormier has been delivery driving for about 2 months now. On a busy night, he could be making rounds in Fredericton for up to 12 hours. As a result, Cormier would find himself smoking a lot of cigarettes, but now he uses a vaporizer. It's helped him quit, but he's still wary of the tool's effects on his health.
I've asked a couple times where they get their chemicals or where they get their juices and how they mix it. And there was no answer. They didn't give us answers. So I'd like to know where it comes from.
What looks like smoke is actually just vapor. A glycerin-based liquid containing nicotine, shown here, is heated inside the vaporizer, then inhaled like a cigarette. The official verdict is still out on vaping, so we spoke to Dr. Camille Haddad on what he had to say about the debate.
Well, there's no scientific research, like a well-controlled scientific research, to tell you what the benefit or the side effect, the harmful side effect of e-cigarettes. Because we don't know what it is, makes me twice as worried about saying yes, go ahead and take it. I mean, some people think they're less harmful because you don't have all the extra chemicals that are found in cigarettes and the filter and the paper of the cigarettes. But there's still a lot of chemicals in this one, and plus we have nicotine, which is quite addictive drug.
Linda Kingston is a manager at East Coast Vape, a store in Fredericton that sells electronic cigarettes. Kingston and her boyfriend opened the store over a year ago and are all too familiar with the debate on e-cigarettes.
That we've had 3 cease and desist letters from Health Canada telling us that it's illegal for us to sell electronic cigarettes, it's illegal for us to sell e-liquid with nicotine in it.
Kingston says that Canada, unlike Europe and China, still hasn't done the research necessary to back its claims that her products aren't safe. Quality control is number 1 at East Coast Vape. The owners order only the highest caliber products and recommend them as a tobacco harm reduction tool.
There's no formaldehyde, there's no any other carcinogen, like nicotine isn't cancer causing, that's been proven. Propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, and our flavors. Propylene glycol is in everything that you eat, and it's just a neutral pH balanced staining liquid that holds the vegetable glycerin, the flavor, and the nicotine together perfectly. A lot of the times it's not even the nicotine, and they just like using it to be able to still have that mental aspect of it.
Despite these factors, Health Canada still considers e-cigarettes a novelty product not yet subject to regulation. With the number of users growing, the need for conclusive research increases every day. For Stu Journalism, I'm Emily McPhee.
For many visitors to the town of St. Andrews, whale watching is a popular way to spend time. Boats make the trek into the Bay of Fundy with the hopes of spotting a whale. Jolly Breeze, a tour operator in the area, is one of the more popular vessels in town.
Both of these life rafts worked the last time we sank. So as we say on the Jolly Breeze, almost nothing to worry about.
Rob Carney and his wife bought the Jolly Breeze 12 years ago and turned her into a successful whale watching ship. Running nearly every day from May to late October, the ship and her crew make 4-hour journeys out into the Bay of Fundy for one special purpose, to catch a glimpse of a whale. Of course, sometimes that means patiently waiting, and waiting, and waiting.
Like my father said to me when I was just small, he said, son, you never can tell with whales, right? So I just took that right to the head, and that's been with me ever since. You just never know. There might be a whale, there might not be.
But regardless of whether or not you do see a whale, there's plenty to do aboard the ship. Face painting is offered to those young and old, and everyone gets a turn holding a live sea star from the bay. Below deck, where it's nice and warm, there are coloring pages and homemade soup. If you're lucky, you'll even get a chance to steer the ship on your own. And the crew is always eager to share some knowledge about the bay.
You need your sea legs here. We get a lot of current. We're about to head into a very narrow channel with a lot of water trying to squeeze in. So it doesn't create big waves, but you can feel the boat going like this.
Yes, this is whale baleen. So, this is what whales have. This is what whales have instead, teeth, right? They don't eat like me and you. They don't catch food and chew it. They use their baleen to filter out what they eat from the water. They eat really, really small stuff, like this small. This is krill. This is also known as zooplankton. They also eat phytoplankton, which is more of a plant, and it kind of grows near the surface of the water where the sunlight can penetrate.
By the end of the trip, you've learned something new, and maybe even made some new friends along the way. The crew is kind and good-humored, and will welcome you back with open smiles and a warm jacket.
Hope that you guys will come back someday. Maybe not this year. This is pretty much it for us. But next year for sure, come back with your family and friends. We would love to see you again.
Tourist season may be over, but the crew of the Jolly Breeze and the town of St. Andrews are sure that next year is going to be great. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Jenna Wright.
You might remember My Little Pony as a line of toys from the 1980s. These multicolored pony figurines look perfect for the little girls in your home. But new fans of the 2010 My Little Pony cartoon are trying to change the public understanding of gender roles. Is My Little Pony just for 8-year-old girls? These men say nay. Joseph Tenney has the story.
This might look like a show for little girls. You're not wrong, but there's a surprising other fandom to My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Bronies are adult males who love to watch the show, buy the plushies, and decorate the room in pony paraphernalia. White Ribbon Fredericton, a group that engages men in the prevention of violence towards women, screened a documentary about the Bronies last Wednesday. They hoped to use the Bronies to raise awareness about the changing role of men in society. Jen Richard helped organize the screening.
Bronies is about that demographic of 20-year-old guys, or 20s, 30s. So we thought, having it on campus, bringing it here, and just having that discussion about what masculinity is, gender roles, what being a man is about.
Many think it's a sexual fetish or all bronies are gay. Sean Dory says bronies are just challenging the idea of what straight males are supposed to like.
It's mainly because we have these group of males who in society are expected to be a big, tough individuals who are aggressive and are all about putting their foot down and stuff and doing these normally, I don't know, I can't think of a better term than manly, but that's a horrible term to use, manly things, and all of a sudden they're doing these more feminine things, and they're enjoying this feminine product that was intended for small children.
Bronies say they enjoy the show because it promotes love, friendship, and tolerance, values they say are lacking in other media. Despite all the negative stereotypes, it's not going to stop these men from galloping to their nearest toy store. New Brunswick has a growing brony community on Facebook that hosts meetups and pony-related events. It's small, but they're always looking for new members to join the herd. For Stu Journalism, this is Joseph Tunney.
Thanks for watching this week's edition of the Basement Files.
See you in 2 weeks.
Stay
classy, San Diego.